If your favorite football club finishes dead last this season, they don't just have a bad year. They get erased from the league entirely. That's the rule you're about to understand. Now imagine if the Lakers had one terrible season and got kicked out of the NBA, sent down to play against college teams instead. Sounds insane, right? But that's basically what happens in football every single year, and almost no one outside the sport understands why it exists or why American leagues refuse to ever do it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how relegation works, why it exists, what it actually costs a club financially, and why the biggest sports leagues in America looked at this system and decided never to copy it. Every football league in the world, the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, is actually a pyramid of leagues stacked on top of each other, not one closed group of teams. At the end of each season, the bottom 3 teams in a league don't just lose, they get demoted to the league one tier below. At the same time, the top teams from that lower league get promoted up to take their place. So the 20 teams you see in a top league this year are not guaranteed to be the same 20 teams next year. There's no such thing as a permanent spot, not for the smallest club and not for a club with 100 years of history, which means every single match, even in October, even for a mid-table team, can be a matter of survival, not just a game. Now here's what most explainer videos get wrong about this. They tell you what relegation is, but never why leagues actually do this to themselves. Relegation creates massive stakes at the bottom of the table. Teams fight just as hard to avoid relegation as top teams fight for the title. But relegation isn't just a sporting rule, it's an economic cliff. A relegated club can lose over $100 million in a single season from broadcasting revenue alone, which is why relegation battles are often more emotionally intense than title races. That financial cliff doesn't happen gradually. It happens overnight, the moment the final whistle blows on the last day of the season. A club's sponsorship deals often have relegation clauses built in, meaning shirt sponsors and kit deals can be renegotiated or canceled immediately. Star players can trigger release clauses to leave for a fraction of their value because top players don't want their careers stuck outside the top division. So, a club isn't just losing games. It can lose its best players, its sponsors, and its identity in the same week. Some clubs never recover and spend a decade or more trying to climb back up the pyramid. American sports leagues, the NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, work on a completely different model. These are closed leagues. The 30 or 32 teams in the league are fixed. There's no lower division feeding into them and no path to get relegated out, no matter how badly a team performs. So why would American sports intentionally avoid a system that creates this much drama and stakes? The answer isn't about competition. It's about protecting something football leagues don't protect at all: the owner's investment. American franchises are structured as guaranteed long-term investments. Owners buy a team knowing it can never be relegated, which protects billions of dollars in franchise value regardless of performance. Football clubs offer no such protection. A historic wealthy club can be relegated in one bad season, and that risk is built into the sport on purpose because European football leagues evolved from open community competitions, not closed business franchises. American leagues, by contrast, were built from the start as franchise businesses where a losing season is a bad year, not a threat to the entire investment. This is why relegation battles produce some of the most emotional scenes in all of sports. Grown men in tears, entire fan bases in shock, because it's not just a loss. It's the club potentially losing its identity, its revenue, and its place in the sport's top tier, sometimes for years. Meanwhile, the promoted clubs coming up from below experience the opposite. Overnight, a small club can find itself playing against the biggest names in the sport, with a shot at revenue and exposure it's never had before. That's the trade-off at the heart of the system. Football leagues accept chaos and risk in exchange for stakes that never disappear, while American leagues accept a fixed, predictable membership in exchange for protecting the business behind every franchise. Neither system is better. They were simply built to optimize for two completely different things.